All right, we're back. We finally recovered from the Super Bowl.
We're always back.
Tom Brady's back, and we're back too.
There you go. Love it.
I'm not sure everybody in this room was a fan of basketball until FanDuel came along, right?
Yep, you're 100%.
I remember last year I was betting on like the NBA playoffs and like I think it was college basketball also. And this guy's like, "What are you doing to yourself? Like, I know nothing about basketball." Now I'm getting random 17 parlays on a fucking Tuesday night from this guy.
So much fun. It's so much fun. But I mean, come on! I come from betting on horses, so you know I'm a degenerate right away.
Yeah, you just needed the vessel to be able to make the bets legally.
I didn't want the scary guy making books for me. I just wanted the computer making books for me.
Now this guy's like, "What do you think about Julius Randle's rebound over?" I'm like, "Oh my god, what are you doing?" Also, some of us became degenerate golf gamblers. Also, I've bet on every single tournament so far.
That's crazy.
And can't stop watching at this point.
What do you think's worse, betting on golf or betting on horse racing?
Horse racing.
Yeah.
Why? Because there's so many?
Yeah. I don't know.
I would agree with that. I mean, it just never stops coming at you.
But I just stay with a couple parks and that's it. You're doing every single tournament every single weekend.
Yeah, one tournament, one weekend.
You're also betting on an animal.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's like it feels weird.
I feel like it's how it started.
You're betting
Yeah,
on
I
the
feel
jockey,
dirty.
Really?
Yeah. It's my opinion.
I was brought up with it. My grandfather bred that into me.
You want to go around the room and talk about some sort of a football off-season move or anything like that? That's got you going?
Listen, the moves are crazy right now. We should have the football show back instead of this NCAA bracket, to be quite honest.
Like a mini pod?
Who thought Tom Brady was coming back? Honestly.
My wife.
Really?
Swear to God, when I told her that Tom Brady had retired, she said, "It's not over for him." I'm like, "You don't even fucking watch sports." She said, "No, he's coming back."
I kind of thought he was coming back.
I didn't think it was going to be with the Bucks though.
Neither did I.
I still don't
rumors,
think it's going to be with the Bucks.
I think the Bucks kind of, they strong-handed him there. I think they heard that there was a potential that he wanted to go and play for the 49ers. He was, there was whispers around the league, and I think that the Bucks heard that and said, "Hey, we are not giving up your rights. There's no shot. If you come back, you're playing for us, or that's it."
That's what Tripp said too. Tripp said that he can't just go willy-nilly and play for any team.
No, he can't. He's right. But I think that in the next week, you're going to know if he's going to be a Buck or not. Because all those guys, he's got 24 free agents. 24.
Yeah, I think that's a big reason why he left in the first place, because all those guys were leaving, and it was like, listen, we're going to rebuild. There's no chance I'm going to play for a rebuilding team. Like, I'm trying to win Super Bowls.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I was surprised he came back, though. I thought that once he said he was going to hang him up, he was going to hang him up for good, just because he's that kind of guy and that kind of competitor. But, I mean, he shows no signs of slowing down. Yeah, so, I mean, like, I can't blame him for coming back,
Yeah.
Probably took the kids to school for like 2 weeks and was like, "I'm out of here. Screw this. I'm going back to work."
Those memes are the best.
That's what a bunch of people were saying. They're like, his kids must be bad. His kids
memes are the best. Well, he probably got tired of open mouth kissing all of them. Like, I can't do this for much longer.
His second retirement tour, I don't care anymore. Next time he retires, it's cool. It's whatever. It's just another day. It's not going to be this whole, tear fest, all Pats fans and just general, football fans just gushing over him on social media. They had that day. He had his day for that. Next time he retires, I don't care.
Next year is going to be extremely annoying with every single game that he plays.
He also has a really weak NFC now, and I think he realized that too. All he has to do is probably just beat Aaron Rodgers, and then he's already be back.
Yeah,
in the
all he's
Super Bowl.
got to do is really get to the playoffs, then he has a chance to get right to the Super Bowl.
And he's got,
and they'll do that in their sleep because the NFC, like you said, is pretty weak.
Yeah. Just got to see though, like some of those guys are going to have to take hometown discounts to make that team a competitor, and if not, he's going to bitch and get out.
And I think they will.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why I did it when he did it, because he did it right before free agency started. So it was like either I do it now or all those guys probably leave, and I have no chance of getting them back. So, that was kind of the only way he could do it.
He lost one or two offensive linemen already, I think.
Yeah, Ryan Jensen re-signed, didn't he?
Somebody yesterday.
Yeah.
And then they just traded someone today too.
Marpet retired, and he said there's no shot of him coming back.
I think they got
how about that guy?
Russell Gage, I think they got today.
Yeah, how about that guy who bought his last touchdown pass for like $500K?
Like the day before.
Like the day before.
It was the day of.
The day later, he retires.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, insane.
Wah wah.
That would be me. I finally got enough money to buy Tom Brady's last touchdown pass.
Yeah, it wasn't like a 600, just worthless.
All right,
worthless
that's enough football. I've actually had baseball question mark down here, but I can't even start
please.
that.
No.
It's a different podcast.
Max Scherzer, David DeGrom, best 1-2 punch in the league. All I'll say.
Big Met fan over there? Oh, yeah.
All I'll say.
That guy.
All I'll say.
I hear a lot of sports talk about the Mets and.
I said no baseball.
Okay.
AJ, welcome back.
Thanks. Good to be
Reintroduce
back.
yourself.
Missed you guys.
Glad to see that you're wearing jeans this time. It's very nice of you.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate
No,
that.
I would. No, yeah, dress episode was the last episode. Okay, you're right.
How's the fame been since then? Like people stopping on the streets?
Grandparents, great grandparents, great aunts, great uncles had reached out to me. It's people I don't even know or I didn't think knew me would just like come up to people and be like, "Hey, you looked real good." I couldn't escape it for like at least a month.
It's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. And you know what's funny is I know it's going to happen again.
Yeah.
It's not. The bet's going to be on the table. I know it is.
No, it's not.
When I saw him bring his wand, I was like, "What's he gonna do this time?" He's
Oh.
gonna bet like if I lose, I'm
Yeah,
gonna shove
dude,
this up
come
my
on.
ass.
I had to show it off. Sean got this for me for my birthday, like he said he would. He promised me.
He's a good guy.
And he said it was the worst experience of his life getting this as well.
Yep.
Because it was just him. His kids were waiting online for a ride, and he had to walk into this wand shop and ask the guy for a wand. He's like, "Which one you want?" He's like, "A wizard one."
Shout out to Trip, who's in Ireland right now. I mean, maybe, hopefully, we're not 100% sure. Day of, still did not have a passport.
Oh, he's not making it.
No, he's there. I think he's there. He had a whole plan to go to Connecticut to get a passport.
Sorry, real quick. So what do you do with that wand?
You do absolutely nothing. You show it
Okay.
off.
All right.
Actually, it's pretty cool, though. When you're in the theme
I think
park,
he just did a spell.
it's got a little thing there. I don't know what it is, but there's like certain spots where you can go up and I don't know.
But
do
if you're not in
stuff
Disney
like this.
World, there's nothing you could do with that thing.
No, it's a
not
piece of
Disney
it's a
World.
piece of wood. That's it.
Bro, get it right. It's not Disney World. It's Universal Studios for the wand.
Oh my god. Holy shit.
I didn't even know that.
Get your Harry Potter. What do you mean you didn't know that? Right? Call yourself a Harry Potter fan? Jesus. And we got a new guy, Money Mike. In the
Money
house.
Mike.
What's going on?
I like it.
How are you?
Thanks for coming out.
Appreciate you guys having me.
Appreciate it. You already fit right in with your Brady talk. Love it. It's gonna be natural.
And he's a Met fan, which would make baseball. Sorry, no baseball. Got my pirate shirt on.
Is it like as a Yankee fan, do you start saying these fucking Mets buying the fucking championship?
I mean,
I say that?
I just no. I
Never
just
say
think
that, right?
I just think
No,
that
I don't
it's
think you
sad
can.
that you're all angry at the Mets already.
Not
which is
angry at
like,
all. Not angry at all. Not angry at all.
I hear it.
I don't really. I'm happy for the Mets. I want. What about you?
I'm happy for the Mets. I'm not happy for Mets fans because Mets fans are now like it's their first year that they might be good. They
This
haven't
is
even
such
played
a
a
dick.
game
He's
yet.
such a dick already.
They
He's such a
throw
dick
it
statement.
in your face. They're just throwing it in my face.
Well, that's
Him
me. I
especially.
throw it in his face all the time.
You should
So,
see
I
our
didn't
text.
have to. He did it
Oh
to me
my
all the time.
God.
He did it to me for years. Finally sold the
Yeah.
team. Now I got to give it back. You know.
Absolutely, I think Met fans.
I think
deserve
we
to
are
get
in that,
back.
right?
Absolutely.
For
100%.
years. For years.
100%.
Didn't spend a dime.
They got the owner.
Now we
that
created
the
a
owner.
tax.
Is that the refrigerator?
Yeah. Whatever. It's all good.
No white
I could
noise.
unplug it.
I didn't even mention that. First time in Studio Bobby, Studio B.
Yeah. What was with that? I saw that on the notes. Studio Bobby. I like it.
Because like we got the one studio in the back which we got kicked out of for this. Now we're in this one, but this is gonna be the home base for
We're gonna
everything.
be on the streets next episode.
Next time we're gonna be fighting for time with Jits and Tits over at Island College.
BYOC. Bring your own chairs.
Mics, bring your own chairs, mics, and headphones for the next episode. Also, we got these Cheetos.
We do have these Cheetos. My God,
That was such a smoker's voice.
never drank this much tequila in my life.
No, these are phenomenal. My boy Mike Pelicano, he's the sales director over there. Phenomenal.
Listen,
Fuck High Noon. Actually, no, I like High Noon also.
Well, High Noon's vodka.
Yeah.
it's all this is the only tequila. Am I wrong?
Yes.
I mean, that's what makes it so special.
Exactly. It's delicious. The mango's my favorite.
Put you in the mango mood. Mango is the best right now. I've had two of them.
I don't know if they sell. I think they sell them at stores, but maybe not. I think you could buy them online.
Wasn't that Take Five's problem? They weren't selling them at stores.
That's a different
Get them,
story.
get them in stores quick.
No, but it's 2022. Come on, you're allowed to buy liquor online. That's how you get this stuff. Go right to the website. You'll order it.
Cheetos. I like them. The mango's delicious.
I'll have to try one during the break too.
Oh man, what are you doing?
Try it live. Not right now. Don't open that fridge.
All right, here we go. Enough baseball, football. Wow, this is off the rails already.
I can't wait for baseball. I'm so excited about baseball.
It's like we haven't done this in 4 weeks, 5 weeks. But we go off the rails. The playoffs for football were absolutely insane. The other day, I was recently listening to...
My God.
I was listening to one of the episodes the other day, and I was like, wow. It was like 2 hours long.
It's like we threw all the rules out the
All
window.
the rules went out the window. Now it kind of feels like that also again right now. But it's March. It's one of the favorite times of the year. It's my favorite time of the year. I feel like I say that during every month, though.
You pretty much do.
Any month there's any kind of type of sports thing. February is shit month. But
Yeah.
as soon as March
Super Bowl.
comes.
But now it's Super Bowl.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Deeper into the month. Wow.
March is usually shit, but now I'm back into basketball because of FanDuel and fucking betting.
What is crazy too is like the first time like you get NFL free agency, MLB free agency, and now March Madness all at the same time. Like
In,
in that
one
one
day.
week, it was insane. Like this whole week is just news breaking. Like I'm laying in bed at like 11:30. You just see news breaking, guys being traded, guys being signed. You're
wild.
like, wow. And it's just like I love sports. It's just, you can't beat it.
It's great.
You can't beat it.
It's wild. What other good times of year, though? You got any other good times? October?
I mean,
I would
the
say
beginning-
October, baseball.
Yeah, getting really into the
Basketball
football
started.
season, weather, and baseball playoffs. I think that time is awesome.
Pumpkin beers for you?
No, not pumpkin beers. Not
Love pumpkin beers.
Oktoberfest beers.
He said he
With a
said,
nice,
"Love
with a
pumpkin."
nice, with a little cinnamon
Cinnamon
sugar rim.
Ugh, it's
Oh.
disgusting. That's what my wife drinks. Disgusting.
Also wears dresses.
I was just gonna add that.
So, am I your wife? Is that what you're? Am I your type?
No, you just dress like her.
All right, so we start here. Rooting interest in basketball. Kurt Money, who you got?
I have probably since the old fad of starter jackets and stuff like that. I was a huge Allen Iverson fan, so I fell into Georgetown big time. I was a huge Georgetown fan. My
John Thompson?
John Thompson, white towel over his shoulder. They had a couple good runs. Never really made an NCAA tournament run that was fun to watch. It was always Duke and North Carolina and all them. But I was a big Allen Iverson fan. Georgetown.
They were a fun team to
Big
watch.
East. Big East was great.
I always like the logo. It's the G with the basketball in the middle.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yes.
Very, very cool.
Then they got a little African with their pants with all the pants. Well, seriously, they did.
It's like Trips here with that
Okay,
comment.
I'm just saying.
I feel like we're gonna have conflicting views on this because your and my fandom probably stems from like the early '90s, and these two were probably not born.
Well,
at
that's
that
what
time.
makes it so interesting. They probably don't even know who Patrick Ewing is.
No, yeah.
Come on, I mean, he's the coach.
I know,
Yeah, exactly.
I know.
Not a good one, but he's the coach.
Not a good one. Give him a year. Give him a couple of years.
AJ, who you got?
See, I'm kind of not really committed too much to a college team specifically. I mean, when I was younger, I guess it was UNC. I loved UNC's colors. It's just awesome. And I hate Duke so much that you have to go for
Baby blue or
UNC.
powder blue?
Tar Heel blue, actually.
Carolina
So-
Blue.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's
Carolina.
what it is, Carolina
Blue.
Blue.
But yeah, I mean, I guess I'd say UNC a tiny little bit when I was younger, and now it's just I just love college basketball in general. I kind of pick and choose teams, as their storylines and the narratives are written year by year, depending on coaches too. This year, Arkansas.
Oof.
I love me Muss Bus.
Foreshadowing.
Love Musselman.
Foreshadowing is right.
I'm picking it. No,
Hey, it doesn't.
He almost got right
Where'd
into
you
it.
go to school?
Stony Brook, so I'm a Seawolf.
Oh, me too. Nice.
What's a Seawolf?
Ask Katie.
Yeah, I was gonna say, didn't we
Oh.
talk about that one
Yeah,
episode?
we did. She said it was a real thing.
It's not a real thing.
Where'd you go to school?
Where did I go to school?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I went to multiple schools. I went to.
What was your like? New
I went to
Paltz?
SUNY Purchase. Failed out because I drank a lot and got caught by the cops.
What's the mascot
Officer
over
Joe
there?
Walsh. I have no idea. We used to call it SUNY Poor Choice. And then I went to Old Westbury. And then I traveled the country. And then I went to New Paltz. And I don't even know what they are either. What's New Paltz?
Hawks.
Yeah, the Hawks.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Hawks.
Oh my god, that's might be a podcast
I
in
never,
itself.
I never went to a school that
You
had
from
really
age
fun
18
sports.
to like 24.
Oh god, it was a good time. I would say 25, but yeah,
All right.
that was graduation.
Mike, who you got? Who you root for?
So I'm a Syracuse fan through and through. Always have been. Didn't go there. Went to Cortland, but my mom's from Syracuse. My grandparents used to have season tickets, so we used to go all the time to all the
Nice.
games. So it was sick. My grandma had this like orange sweatshirt she used to wear to every game. Watched every game. She was a crazy fan. She would literally like in front of the TV just like screaming. She's a little like 4'11" lady. She'd be screaming at the TV, screaming at Jim Boeheim, but always been a Syracuse fan. Always loved them and always will.
And crazy enough, that guy's still fucking coaching.
Insane.
Why?
Insane.
Why was she a huge Syracuse fan? She
I
lived
don't
up there?
really know, to be honest. Like,
Okay.
I mean, they moved there, and then I don't know if she grew up there too, but I think just through being in the area, she just became a huge Syracuse fan.
Yeah, there's no
and it just
sports up
translated.
Always-
Nothing else. There's literally, I mean, Jim Boeheim is a god.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe a murderer, but also a god in Syracuse. So there's nothing he could do that would ever like ruin him there. He could coach for as long as he wants. He probably will. But yeah, it's always been Syracuse.
I always wanted to go to a game in the Syracuse.
It is
bubble?
an insane environment.
Yeah.
It's a weird environment with all the football stadium playing in the dome. But I mean, you get a good game there. They pack that place out, and it's like I think it still holds the record for largest college crowd of all time. Because I mean, there was one game against I think it was Duke, and it literally went like halfway around the bowl. Like you couldn't even see. I mean, there's no sight lines from back there, but fans just love it.
That's
they love
awesome.
it. So
Do they play the game in the full bowl?
no, so they play
Play
it
it
like
in the-
on
in the
one
one end
half.
zone,
Yeah,
yeah.
in the one end zone. So
Yeah.
it's really just like they have these stands they set up on the other side. So they're obviously like fake and they come up. But then you can sit anywhere in the bowl.
They
so
pack it up to the nosebleeds too.
Yeah, I
on
mean
that
they'll
one
put
side.
it they'll put like a screen up on the other side, and they have like all this event stuff going on, but so you can watch it from there. But it's like, yeah, it's a crazy environment. Crazy environment.
That's awesome.
Speaking of Syracuse, did you guys hear about Boeheim's wife?
No.
Couple it was like a week or two ago. One of some guy I work with, he's born and raised in Syracuse, and he was telling me, and we were looking into it together. His wife got robbed at gunpoint at the mall in Syracuse. They took her purse. That's it. Everyone was okay. They got away with it. They caught two or three suspects like a couple days later. It's 3 13-year-old kids.
Nice.
Drove themselves to the mall, robbed her at gunpoint, and left.
Nice.
I thought you were going to say they loved them so much that they gave everything back.
Honestly,
I'm
wouldn't be
sorry.
surprised.
Didn't mean to rob you.
whole
Didn't
city
he,
of Syracuse
didn't he
probably
retire
doesn't.
once? Oh, no, he got
never
in trouble.
retired.
He just
He
got in
got
trouble.
canceled.
Well, he got in trouble, but that wasn't really.
Oh, okay.
He got
It
canceled.
wasn't him. It was his assistant, and it screwed him over because they got insane sanctions that still hurt him now.
Was he-
They like recruiting violations.
Was
So.
it strippers? Was that him?
No, that was Rick
Okay.
Pitino. Rick Pitino.
Yeah.
Basketball
But yeah, I mean,
coaches.
I'm convinced. I mean, we had not a good team this year. They were probably the worst team we've had in years. One of the first time in Jim Boeheim's coaching history he's ever been below 500 on a team. I'm convinced if we were in the tournament, we'd make the Sweet 16.
Wow.
We will. The 2-3 zone always plays in March. We'll never not make a Sweet 16 with a team like that. I mean, just always plays in March. So even after he retires, I hope we still keep it. But we'll
Nice.
see.
I won't be surprised if they win the NIT. They just get hot this time of year.
Yeah, they
You
do.
know?
Yeah, and it's just, the zone plays in March.
They just get
For
hot
whatever
this time
reason.
of year.
Which I
Also,
see.
Buddy Boeheim getting suspended for that game.
Oh yeah, that was
Absolute
bullshit.
bullshit.
Absolute bullshit.
Did not deserve that.
Didn't deserve it. You're right. I'm a big Big East guy, like old school Big East, like same thing, Georgetown, those
St.
that
John's.
years, yeah. So my allegiance is to Syracuse and St. John's. I'm a huge Syracuse fan. I look back all those players they had back to like Derek Coleman, Carmelo, Keem Warwick, of course Jerry Mack. Like love Syracuse. Went to school at Oneonta. Funny story. I went to school at Oneonta. After 2 years, I transferred. I was trying to transfer to Syracuse, St. John's, or Stony Brook. Stupidly wound up going to Stony Brook.
Hey, you should have went
Biggest
to Syracuse.
mistake of your life.
I mean, it was a great education and all. Really
Also
smart
the cheapest
people there.
education, probably.
Cheap. That's probably
Yep.
that's exactly what it was. So,
Syracuse.
but yeah, got into all three schools. Always wanted to go to a school with like a big team like that.
I know, we talked
Totally
about that.
regret it.
It would be amazing.
Totally regret it, but yeah,
Wasn't it like Big East Mondays? Like those were the Monday night games. Those are they were great.
I mean the conference is like a shell of itself right now, though.
Yeah,
It's so sad.
you don't even know where half the teams are from.
So they kind of built it back up a little bit in
Little bit.
recent years. I mean, they've gotten a lot better from where they were after all those teams left.
Yep.
But yeah, nothing will beat those old St. John's, Syracuse, UConn, like
Yeah,
none of those
even
teams.
BC, like even when they
Yeah,
were right,
like-
like it was fun.
And it was perfect because it was like that whole Northeast region. Like
Yep.
I mean, West Virginia too, but like it was like that perfect corridor of teams that were just like right close to each other, and they like had that natural rivalry.
Yeah.
And I think it really killed Syracuse leaving the Big East. I mean, everyone was doing it, so they kind of had to. And the ACC was a great basketball conference, but especially in football, it killed them.
I think stuff like that does kill your conference because that's half of pulling the kids in is when you're playing for such a
Yeah,
big
totally.
conference.
Well,
and
it's, the same thing as Nebraska going to the Big Ten. Like
Yes.
they just don't have that like the natural recruiting ground, and parents are like, "Oh, I got to go to Ohio to watch my kid
Mm.
play." Like, why would you go there? Just go to some place in the Big 12, and it makes so much more sense.
Right.
So I mean, doing things like that, it's just But we'll see. I wish they could just do it just for basketball. That'd
Yeah.
be awesome.
yeah,
Yeah, sport by sport, that'd be fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Funny thing though, St. John's, holy shit, what a terrible team
they're always
for
terrible.
so long.
They're always terrible.
They like when we were kids, they were it, you know.
Yeah, I really thought Mullen would bring him back too.
Yeah.
And he did for a couple of years,
Couple
but
years.
I mean, it never really like took off the way it really kind of thought it would after that. But
Couple years. Everybody still lives like the Chris Mullen, Mark Jackson days, and after
come
that
on.
it was like
They were great.
that was like 40 years ago. At this point,
It's kind of the
you
way
know?
I feel about the Pittsburgh Pirates.
All right, here we go. Most hated college basketball team or teams. Who you got?
Fucking hate you. I mean, it has to stay in the Big East because I didn't really go outside of the Big East when I was a kid. My brother always loved Duke, so I kind of liked the ACC. They were fun to watch, as they still are, which is great. But I honestly, I have to say, I hated when Georgetown had to play Syracuse. I hated them. They always beat us at the end. And I hated UConn.
Yeah.
I hated UConn. I hated the coach. But I hated them all for good reasons because they were really good.
I think UConn might be the most hated team in the Big East for other people who like teams in the Big East.
But I mean, like, it's...
Did you say that?
Yeah, I'd say it had to be because they always played you tough no matter what.
And that's
they always had great teams.
That's really like the only reason why to hate it. It's not like you hate a player, you hate because they don't last long. You know, they're gone in 3 or 4 years. But yeah, I hated you.
My only problem with that is I love Jim Calhoun. Like his quotes and his pressers were like best of the best.
I thought he was great. I just hated that he won all the time.
Yeah.
So I just hated it.
Yeah,
that was the only thing.
I agree with that. I hated the team and the institution. Loved the coach, and also there was players there that I loved.
Yeah.
I loved when Kemba was there. Like I loved.
Cardi had Kemba and MSG.
Even Shabazz Napier.
Yeah.
Yeah, Shabazz is cool. I mean,
Ray Allen.
Yeah, I said Ray Allen hit the shot. I mean, they had some just awesome players, awesome teams.
But just as an organization, I know exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly
they were always in the final.
They're very hateable team.
In the Final Four.
Yeah.
That would be mine.
Who you got, AJ?
I already said it earlier. I'll say it again. I'll double down. Duke. Their fans are insufferable. So many goddamn fans. They're so loud. I hate to say it because I am a Yankee fan. They're like Yankees fans, man. They really are. Like the asshole Yankees fans. Not only that, they just have a history of some really douchey players. I can't think of Duke without picturing Grayson Allen's stupid face. I hate that kid so much.
Sounds like Tripp with his stupid face.
Grayson Allen, he's the dirtiest player I've ever seen on a court. Trips people, goes in, throws the extra shoulder, will follow you up after a play and push you. Like, he's disgusting. I hate him. He's a little prick.
Their fans.
I feel very strongly about Grayson Allen, so it will always be Duke.
He's the epitome of the most hated Duke player of all time.
Yeah,
they've got some bad ones.
More hated than
Reddick. Everybody hated Reddick.
Yeah, but it's funny how that kind of turned because Reddick, I think, is a huge popular player now. I loved him.
He's the man.
And I kind of like those hateable personalities. I mean, I didn't really like him on Duke, but I mean, he's a guy who just kind of like the heel turned after he went to the NBA. Grayson Allen, no one really cares about him anymore.
No,
that's the only problem.
He's a dick too.
Yeah, they had some hated ones. Like even Wojciechowski, like people hated him.
Yeah.
He was like the first guy. I remember like the smack in the floor.
Yes, all the time.
He was every single time they come down, slap the floor.
Yeah. I'll say to Kyle Singler, really for no reason.
Yeah.
I don't know. For some reason, just hated him.
Yeah, they had some bad ones. Even like Bobby Hurley back in the day.
Bobby Hurley.
Oh man,
he was good.
People hated him.
I'm sure they did, but they were into it and they were winners. Do you think that? I mean, this could just be my vision as like a 12, 13-year-old kid. Was Duke like the first home court where the fans were a huge part of the game?
I think it's a lot of those places.
Yeah, I think it's any of those old arenas. Like Cameron Indoor is just so small that it's like the home court advantage is like it beats you everywhere. Like
I just remember it so vividly, like
how loud it was.
Doing the whole thing during the free throws.
And the fans are on top of you. It's just like you can't beat it. Like I love the Carrier Dome and it's a great place to watch a game, but like it's so big because it's literally a football stadium. Like you don't get that same kind of feel. It gets really loud in there, but the fans aren't on top of you the way they are like Cameron Indoor.
And I don't like, and it happens a lot in the NCAA championship games, Final Four, when they're on a stage. I don't like when the basketball court is on a stage.
Oh, you mean like when it's like below?
All the fans are
when it's in like AT&T Stadium
and the stadium's raised a little bit. It just seems off.
The players sitting on a bench when they stand up and they're celebrating like a crazy play.
Right.
The court's up to their chest.
Yes. I think that's weird. I think it's so weird.
It is ridiculous.
It doesn't bother me as much just because it is a championship game, and I feel like the fans aren't as like it's a big part of it, but it's not like they're a home court advantage kind of thing. So it doesn't bother me as much. But I see.
It's like a Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mike, who's your most hated team?
Yeah, mine's gonna be Duke. Also, just I feel like it's funny. Like I feel like Syracuse fans feel like Duke is a rivalry, but it's like Duke does not consider us to be a rivalry. But it was always a game that like we played really hard no matter how good we were. I mean, even in like the ACC tournament this year, like we got blown out by them in the regular season, but in the ACC tournament, we were winning at halftime. Like they always just a team we played tough and like was always our biggest competition. And like Syracuse fans, I feel like just hate Duke. Yeah. And it's funny because Coach K and Boeheim are such good friends.
Right.
But it's just like every Syracuse fan, I feel like just has a hatred for Duke. And obviously Georgetown goes back, but I wasn't really a lot for those years. So
And
don't
they
have that
pretty
same
much
kind of
beat
hatred.
Georgetown most of the time anyway.
Yeah. Georgetown not great these days, but yeah. So Duke's got to be mine as well.
I'm with you too. I got actually both of those teams. I hate Duke and I hate North Carolina also because I was such a Big East guy. Like in the time, like you were either into a team in the Big East or you like Duke and you like North Carolina all day.
Yep.
You know?
I also just hate Coach K.
Oh yeah,
The whole retirement tour, hated it so much. It was brutal to watch. I'm hoping he gets bounced in the first round, but
Yeah, but
I love that Saturday night with that fucking guy.
Do you think he wanted that though? I don't think he wanted that. He don't give a shit.
I think
what?
he wanted
him?
I loved when he came out after that loss and he told the crowd to quiet
You love
down.
that? I fucking hated that.
I loved it because
I love that they
it was
lost,
so
but I hated
cringeworthy.
his response.
I loved it because it was so cringeworthy, and I just feel like
Cringe.
it encapsulated Coach K so
Guy's
perfectly.
a fucking winner, man.
That was another thing. My wife and I were watching that, and she was like, "What's happening right now?" I had to explain the whole thing.
My wife was the same.
And then but then Sunday morning, I'm watching SportsCenter for 6 hours or whatever I was watching. It kept coming. Kept coming on. She's like, "What the fuck is that?"
And then,
with
but
this
just
guy?
watching Jay Williams and JJ Redick in the crowd just despondent over the fact that Duke's losing this game to UNC
Yeah.
in his last game at Cameron Indoor. Just so great, so great to watch. Just relishing the whole moment.
For so many fans of other teams or people that went to other schools that hated Duke for so long, it was probably the most happy moment
Yeah,
of
and
anybody's life.
Duke's definitely the most hated team, probably
Easy.
across
I
the
would think
board.
so.
So
I
that's
would
a
think
pretty
so.
chalk pick, but it's just they're so easy to hate, and he's such a hateable guy that it's just it's easy.
I just hated it. It was just even when we were in high school and stuff, it was the easy out was to be a Duke or a North Carolina fan.
Man, then you guys are going to hate my most memorable moment.
I know exactly what it is now.
It's the easiest one.
I know exactly what it is.
I mean, I'm just going to go into it, right?
No, hold on. So the players from North Carolina that I liked over the years, Rasheed Wallace and Jerry Stackhouse. I had a little bit of respect for those guys.
Jerry Stackhouse.
But here's the list of people from both Duke and North Carolina that can go fuck themselves. Shane Battier, Bobby Hurley, Grayson Allen, J.J. Redick. No longer, though. J.J. Redick is the man now. Tyler Hansborough. Remember that guy?
Uh-huh.
See, I liked him because he was gritty.
Oh,
But
Psycho T?
yeah, I like Psycho T. Just because he was psycho. Gotta respect it.
Eric Montross, Luke May, and Marcus Page. Just hateable,
May. Luke
punchable
May.
faces.
Wow.
Can't stand them.
Everybody hates Duke, huh? I get it. I don't know.
I see respect for
greatness.
the greatness and the winning and stuff, but I don't know. Just the personalities were just brutal.
Who's his predecessor?
Polarized.
John Shire.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who I actually think will be a good job, and he's not a hateable guy, so we'll
Young.
see. It'll take, he's 30,
Young.
31, 32, something like that. So I think he'll do a good job, but we'll see how long it
They're
takes.
They're trying to go the Pittsburgh Steeler route and just have a couple coaches in the next 50 years.
Maybe.
Probably. It was interesting that they didn't go Anamaker. Is that how you say his name? From Harvard. Was there for a while. Player. Wanted the job, but
Most memorable March Madness moment.
I mean, it's just because I was 12. Christian Laettner. I can't believe the guy had the balls to dribble and do a fake in 2 point whatever seconds and hit that shot. Like I said earlier, my brother was a huge Duke fan, huge basketball player, played it in college. I was into it. I remember it like the 86 Mets in the World Series when I was only 6. I have that memory in my head of that play, of that shot, and I get chills when I see it. So I don't know whatever happened to that guy, but it has to be Christian Laettner's shot. Easy. I mean, it's the first thing that came to me when I was going over all these games.
It's definitely a top 10 moment of all time.
I can't believe he thought that he had that much time.
Yeah. Pretty wild.
It's crazy. It was crazy.
AJ, what do you got?
I have a real one and a traumatic one. First one, as soon as I saw it, it's cardiac Kemba. It's that UConn run. It's that play in general. My God, that still gives me goosebumps. That's when I really started to get into basketball, college basketball more specifically. It's around, how old are we?
Cardiac Kemba, 2014, 2015?
So,
like 14, 15.
Like 15, 16, that's when you really start to get into it and get a little more serious about it.
It's got to be nice to know your age by the millennium start. So when it's 2015, you're 15.
That's a good one.
Go on, I'm sorry.
No, you're right. It's easy. It's a lot easier. Yep.
Easy.
And then my traumatic one that I still remember to this day because it was, Kevin Ware's leg. Louisville.
That's a great
The Elite Eight against Elite Eight
I was
against
going to
Duke.
bring that up. That was
Holy
Easter Sunday.
shit.
Yep, it was
Yeah,
Easter Sunday. That's what I
yeah.
was going to say. I wanted to make sure I was right on that. I'm still scared to jump when I'm playing, even just like pickup basketball to this day.
Absolutely remember that.
That was an
100%.
elevated court. That's why I was when you guys just said that.
yeah,
was
that's
mind-blowing.
right. Yeah. Oh,
Oh, I remember
That was
that.
brutal.
You
That
guys
was
want to see
brutal.
it? I could pull up a picture.
No,
No,
Yeah,
nobody
you're
wants
right.
to see a picture of that.
those are good ones. Mike, what do you got?
Big question, quick. Did they end up winning that game?
Was it Elite Eight?
I'm pretty sure that was in the Elite Eight.
Oh, it's got to be Easter Sunday. Yeah, it's way later.
I think Louisville won that year too.
I don't even remember. that.
We'll have to. I'll look into that on
Get
the
our
break.
stat guy on that.
Yeah.
Hey, Noodles, can you give us a...
Hey, Cheeto.
Hey, noodles.
Sorry.
Mine's got to be Chris Jenner and that shot against UNC to win the game at the buzzer. All the confetti falling down. He hits a wild three just coming off like one leg, not even like contested
He
shot,
flailed
banks
it,
it
yep.
in, and then ties the game. Villanova comes down. Gillespie passes the ball, shot in. Or no, Archer Drakenov passed the ball, shot in, 3-pointer, win the game. Confetti falls down. Just in all time, because just the back and forth, like
Yeah.
it was insane.
It's a way to
Insane.
walk it off.
Yeah,
It's great.
absolutely insane.
It's one thing about about basketball is that, man, when there's like 10 seconds on the clock, there's still so much time left in that game.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah. I mean, that game should have gone to OT, and there's like
was that?
Villanova calls a timeout and blows up a play, and it's just like the perfect play because everyone thinks Archie Draken was taking the shot, and he just passed up. And I think Jenkins said after the game too, they like practiced that play like 15 different times in practice and never actually hit the shot. So it was like the first time they actually ran it, hit the shot at the same time.
The funny part about the Chris Webber timeout is that like that shouldn't have even happened. That guy walked up the length of the court.
Yeah.
Why do I remember that and I don't remember it? The Chris Webber timeout. Is
It
that
was-
Michigan?
Yeah,
Fab
Michigan.
Five. Yep,
right?
it's the Fab Five.
Oh, shit.
He tried to call a
Michigan versus
timeout.
Kentucky.
They didn't have a timeout. Cost him the chip.
Right.
They go his freshman year. They go all the way to the championship game. They lose. Come back next year, just rip apart the whole year. And that game, he was having a great fucking game that game. And this is good. And he
That's what a 16 versus 16 team
19
looks
seconds to go. He gets a rebound off of a free throw. Literally travels the length of the court with the ball. And then calls a timeout that they don't have. And they lose. And then he goes to the NBA.
I do remember that. I don't have it fully in my head, but I do remember that. Fab
All right.
Five, man, nobody brought up the Fab Five. That shit was fun. That was a good documentary too on ESPN.
A lot of fucking
They were
big players.
they were ridiculed for wearing black ankle socks.
Yeah.
Right.
Baggy shorts.
Yep.
Steve Fisher.
I wanted to actually bring that up. So Allen Iverson, right? That's when like the real baggy shorts came into play.
He brought arm sleeves into the league too. Nobody wore an
Yes.
arm sleeve before him.
And now everybody's wearing these short ass shorts. Do you
Yep.
think those long shorts like stopped some people's play?
Slowed
What
him
do you
down.
think?
That's just a trend,
knees.
You
man.
think it slowed him down a little bit?
Could've.
Nah.
Yeah.
Well,
Doesn't slow down AI, but
yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, as a player that played semi-pro, and when I say semi-pro, I mean JV basketball in Lyndhurst High School.
As a senior.
Kurt's dad was my coach. As a senior, fuck you. We didn't.
Oh,
we
my
didn't really
God.
have the luxury of having baggy shorts because they were like 20-year-old shorts. So mine were like skin tight.
Yes.
Also, you know about how like the jersey numbers, the higher they get, the larger they are.
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's an interesting concept.
That's why I could never be number 6.
I was always 54.
I was always number 2.
Like at number 2 dress size also.
Hey, well, I'm a 00, okay? The one I was wearing was a 00. I was lumpy in that podcast.
Why?
Because my fat was pouring over the dress.
That was the hardest part about being a large gentleman playing high school
That you
sports.
couldn't get
Could
your
never have a
Uniforms
number that you
always
like.
so
favorite
tight.
number.
Even the football jerseys, they were fucking skin tight. Just me?
My favorite number is 2, but I have to be 54.
I don't really have the luxury of having any other number but 54 ever. It's fucked up.
That's absolutely hilarious.
All right. This year, though, there's some college basketball we played. March Madness.
Yes.
Are we qualified to make picks for this?
No. I mean, they look like they are.
Yeah.
I don't know if me and you are.
I think Mike's the most qualified. That's why he brought
Mike
him
is
in.
definitely
Absolutely
yeah.
a ringer.
I don't know about that.
No, you are.
I'm probably
100%.
following his picks.
All right, we're starting off
a lot
with
of pressure.
first round upsets, and here's how I'm basing my first round upsets. 2 things. One is the teams that screwed me out of so much money during the regular season,
Fair.
right? So I'm using that as a little bit of a bias. And then 2, I like to look at the lines of the first round now that sports gambling is legal, and the ones that look fishy, like why is why is South Dakota State only a 3-point underdog to Providence?
Right.
I'm all over those.
Right.
I'm all over those. So I got 2. One of them, someone said Arkansas before. I'm taking Vermont as a first round upstate over Arkansas. This guy's probably got him going to his Final Four.
I don't.
And then my other one is I have been burned by Providence so much this year, and I'm taking South Dakota State. And I'm pretty sure they are like another one that's like 4 points. It's only like 4 points in that game.
Yeah, I think a few people have that one.
The other thing with South Dakota State is whoever wins that game, Providence or South Dakota State, they're running into a buzzsaw in Iowa. So if you're looking for an upset, that's the one to go with because neither of those teams has beaten Iowa. Vegas just knows something in those games, and those are my 2 upsets. I got Vermont and I got South Dakota State first round upsets.
I mean, I guess I should have probably looked at the spread, right? But my upset is not by the spread because the spread's still 8.5. I would absolutely take them with the numbers, but I think they're going to win out. UAB, number 12. They are playing... Who are they playing? Houston, right. Ooh. I don't like Houston.
Yeah, I don't need
Every game that I have seen Houston play in the last 2 months, because that's all I pay attention to, they are super slow starters. They do not come out fast at all. And the conference is just... I mean, listen, UAB's conference is not good either, but so is Houston's. Houston's conference is not good. It's a classic 12 over a 5.
Classic
12 over a 5. And what's good about this game is... This is what's good. 1, I learned that UAB is Alabama at Birmingham. Okay.
It's good to know.
I didn't know. I think they're the Blazers. Okay. Jordan Walker averages 20 points per game. That's not an easy thing to do for a college basketball player. That's pretty much your limit. That's where you are.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I think Chattanooga might upset Illinois, so you might get 2 wins out of this UAB team. That's where I'm going with my big upset.
It's a good road.
That's where I'm going with my big upset, but then they're going to run into Arizona and then bye-bye to any one of those teams. But I'm going with UAB as my big upset play.
Yeah, like UAB, I agree. I hate Houston. I think they were great in conference play, but their conference sucks, so it really doesn't say much. Right. And outside of that conference, they were terrible. So I could see UAB upsetting them. I think Houston's more talented than them. I think they cover the 8.5. I don't know if they actually win outright, though. That's my only question there. But I think the 8.5 is too many points for UAB.
Who they just lost to Memphis in their conference?
Yeah, in the conference final.
Who?
Yeah.
Penny.
Who lost to Memphis?
Houston.
No, they beat them. They lost to them twice this year, but they lost. Houston won the conference tournament.
Oh, all right.
They came back and won that game.
Damn, I don't know.
What's the coach's name? He's been there forever.
In Houston?
Yeah.
Jimmy V.
No.
Oh.
Oh my God, no.
I'll tell you right now, I cry like a little baby every year when I see a
yeah,
Jimmy
it's
V
tough.
fucking foundation situation.
Oh my God.
Love that guy.
Haven't seen one of those in a
It's
while.
amazing.
What's it?
Kelvin Sampson.
Oh yeah. Legend.
Been there for a while, yeah.
Legend. All right, Mike. Who's your upset pick?
Jackrabbits out of South Dakota State. That's a team I like. But I mean, that's kind of a chalky one. I think a lot of guys have that, so I don't know.
That's the one
what
over
that is.
Providence.
That's over
right?
Providence.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I should have mentioned that. Another one I like in that same region is Iowa State over LSU. I think Iowa State's a better team. LSU just losing their head coach, and I just don't think LSU is. I mean, they're a talented team. They're always like kind of star-studded. Will Wade did a really good job recruiting. I just don't really think he did a great job getting players ready. They turn over the ball way too much, and I think that just Iowa State defense is going to stifle that LSU offense, and they're going to turn the ball over. And I think, some people think they can play hard without their coach and kind of like play for him almost without him there, but I think they're kind of the team that they are, and I think Iowa State's defense is just going to be too much for them.
Yeah. The one problem I have with Iowa State is I put a bunch of money on them about a week ago, and they scored 30.
Yeah, no, that's fair. They go through some pretty big
I wanted to put a
droughts.
knife right through my neck. I was like, 35 points. 35 points.
Yeah, they go through some pretty big scoring droughts. I just think that they're going to hold the possession. I think under might be a good play there. I don't know if the line is there, but I could see that happening for sure. And I just don't really like LSU that much.
It's a good pick. 11 over 6.
Yeah, 11 over 6.
AJ?
First pick, like you said, it's a chalk one, but just to give you some stats. So you're really confident with the South Dakota State pick. Providence just got their doors blown off by Creighton in the Big East semis. It was disgusting, and it was all via the 3-ball. So South Dakota State, they haven't lost a game since like early December. I think they won 21, 22 straight games, blowing teams out, putting up crazy numbers, averaging around 87 points a game during that stretch.
Wow.
And they're shooting 45% from 3. That's huge
Big.
in March, especially in
Yep.
round of 64. absolutely think I'm definitely going to take South Dakota State. I think they're only like you said, 2-point underdogs as well. My other one, upset-wise, and I love the line too, it's only Virginia Tech, 11 seed, only a 1-point underdog to Texas. And Virginia Tech is as hot as they can get right now, an 11 versus 6. They just won the ACC championship, beat Duke, beat UNC to get to there. I'm absolutely going to take them over Texas.
I agree with that as well. I like Virginia Tech a lot. They're really good. They've been really good through the ACC tournament. Had struggled a little bit in the beginning of the year, but a solid team that can.
They're getting hot.
They're getting hot at the right time, and I think they're just well coached, and I think they could definitely beat Texas. Texas is a good team. I kept waiting for them all year to kind of take that next step because I just think that Chris Beard's a really good coach, but they're just not there yet, and I think it's going to take a couple years for him to really build that program.
All right, so going around the room, upsets. I got Vermont, South Dakota State. Who you got?
Oh, I was supposed to have 2?
No, one's good.
All right, I got UAB.
All right.
The Blazers.
AJ?
South Dakota State and Virginia Tech.
Yeah, I went Iowa State and South Dakota State as well.
All right, I'm taking Providence now after this.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I think that's what happens
Everybody's
too.
taking
Like
South Dakota
that's
State.
what happens too. You see South Dakota State. I mean, so many people are on that same line because for the same reasons. I mean, Providence. Everyone's kind of got that luck factor all year. They've been like really lucky throughout the whole year, and then they get a team like South Dakota State that shoots the ball like crazy. So I mean, I don't know. It's
It's
a tough
worth
one.
it. It's worth a shot.
Be a good game.
I would definitely take the line, and I like the UAB line too at 8.5. I think that's definitely one that they can cover.
Wait, I must have read the email wrong. I thought we were going with some teams that can make a run. I thought that was one of the deals.
Wrong. It was just the first round.
Oh, fuck. All right, could I just say something quick about a team? Number 6, Colorado State. I think they're going to make a run real far in this tournament. They got this guy, David Roddy, on the team that has 7 double-doubles this year. Every other game that he played, he had 8 or 9 rebounds trying to make a double-double. He almost got there. The team is 13th best in shooting percentage in the game. They upset Tennessee in round 2. They're going to upset La Jolla Chicago because, they're probably going to get there. Or Villanova, maybe. I just think they're going to get to the Elite 8. Colorado, number 6. So I guess you can make that as like a little run, but them being in number 6, it's not a first-round upset.
I like it.
They're actually, it's a rare, I feel like, the 11 team being favored, actually, over Colorado State. Michigan's minus 2.5 in that game.
Yes.
Which is interesting.
They're big on Michigan, and I don't really get it.
Yeah,
Michigan was a bubble team.
Yeah, they're a bubble team, and one that was not very good throughout the year. I mean, they had a decent Big Ten run. Juwan Howard, I guess they played hard for him after he got suspended, but I don't know. I don't really see it with Michigan, so I could see Colorado State definitely winning that game and maybe making a run. I mean, who they get in the second round, they'll get Tennessee is going to be a tough matchup for them.
Tennessee's going to be a tough matchup. I just think they're riding so high from that tournament. Everybody's huge on Tennessee. I mean, listen, even I put $10 on them to win the tournament just because of their odds. But they're huge on them right now.
Yeah, and a lot of Tennessee's feel like got screwed over not getting a 2-seed over Duke. They felt like they should have swapped, which I kind of agree with. Right. But you got to play who you play, and that's kind of what it is. I don't know. That Tennessee team is good. I don't think they're good enough to make a run, but I could see Colorado State having some trouble with them. That'd be the only question there.
One of my picks. Colorado
State.
State.
Yeah, why
Good
not?
pick.
Why not?
All right, Final Fours. Here we go. My first, chalk Gonzaga. Nasty. 2 years in a row. Top seed in tourney. I think this year they're going to take it they're going to take it over the top. They're just built differently this year. They got Drew Timme, but Chet Holmgren defending the rim. Guy can shoot from anywhere on the floor. Just an absolutely nasty team.
They're over 50% in field goal percentage.
They're going to get tested. They got Texas Tech and Duke in their in the West, and then the Kentucky on the bottom side of the bracket. So they're going to get tested, but not an easy road to the Final Four. But I like Gonzaga getting there. My second pick, Kentucky. I just think that they got a nice blend of young players and they got a nice blend of experience there. They're the most efficient offense in the SEC. And then in January and February, they were fucking unstoppable. Unstoppable. Really helped come off that Super Bowl high that I was on of the LA Rams.
They could score quick, too.
My Rams future. They really fucking helped me in the second half of February there. My third team, so I got Gonzaga, Kentucky, Arizona. Love this team. First year coach. It's been a long time since they've going to make it this far. Tons of turmoil coming off their previous coach. Soft conference they play in, the Pac-12. I feel like that's a little bit of a watch out. They haven't played a ton of good teams, but just an absolute monster of a team. And then Auburn won a shit ton of money on Auburn this year.
I love Auburn.
Shit ton of money. I watched so many of their games this year. My old boss, he runs the Budweiser wholesaler down there. Shout out Rob Passy. Guy's the man. Calls me at least once a week, tells me, Johnny, when are you coming down? I got to get down there. But, Bruce Pearl and the boys looking to fuck shit up. Lukewarm finish. They really limped into this tournament.
Yes.
Tough go of it in the conference tournament. They're struggling to hit the 3 lately, but I think they get hot and they make a little bit of a run here.
And they weren't predicted to do that well this season.
They were not.
Definitely not be the number 1 team in the country for sure.
Yeah.
Not be up there.
Man, I love Auburn. I love Wisconsin. And I love Purdue. But I can't take any of those teams. Those were my first 3 that I loved going into it. But then I found out Wisconsin and Auburn would have to meet in like the Sweet 16. That blew that away. I don't even know why I like Wisconsin. I think it's their defense or it's their old coach, Bo Ryan. Like, I don't know what it is. But I looked at their numbers, and they're shooting 42% from the field and 31% from three-point range. You can't make a run with that for Wisconsin. I'm sorry. Auburn, like you said, they just limped at the end here. And I was super, super high on them. So from that division, I mean, I got to go Kansas because they're just the better team in that division. I think Kansas beats Wisconsin. I have Wisconsin over Auburn, actually. I'm going with Kansas in the Midwest. And going into the South, which I think is the easiest division, I think Arizona blows everybody away. They're definitely a top-notch team. There's nobody that's going to stop them. I think, what was it, over 30 wins, right?
They got the easiest path to the final.
They have the easiest path to the Final Four. Hopefully they don't fuck it up because I'm probably going to put a lot of money on them. I got Arizona taking that division. Now, when it comes to the West, I don't know if it's just because I've been doing these brackets for 30 years now. I can't stand picking Gonzaga. It's annoying. So it's Gonzaga, Texas Tech, or Duke. Does Coach K make the run? I don't know. Does Coach K make the run?
No.
Probably not by the way I've watched them in the last week.
They're not a great team.
So I have Texas Tech over Duke. I'm giving the extra picks here. I got Texas Tech over Duke, but I got Gonzaga going in because I saw their field goal percentage. I saw the way they're beating up their opponents. They're scoring a ton of points. It's just hard with my 4 brackets on my lap. 3 out of the 4 have Gonzaga going into the Final Four. The fun one is the East, which has my Purdue in it, which I loved until I lost money this weekend on them.
Oh, man. Killed me on Sunday.
I was all about Purdue. I love Purdue. I one of these brackets, not the one I'm talking about, has Purdue going to the championship. It ain't going to happen. What's going to happen is UCLA is going to happen. The gang is all back.
It's a good pick.
Their defense is better than it was last year. And by the way, have you seen so many starters that their names are so much alike? There's so many J's. Jules Bernard, Johnny Juzang, Jamie Jacques. I mean, I could go on and on with these J's. I don't know what the hell's going on with UCLA. Like you said, it's a weaker division. They haven't really gotten challenged so much. But for one thing that I think is true, if they get going in the first game, I think they're going to make a run. So I got UCLA surprising the East. I got Gonzaga in the West, Arizona in the South, and Kansas in the Midwest. I know it's a lot of ones, but I just can't go with Wisconsin and Purdue and Auburn the way I wanted to. Those are the 4 I got.
You really think that UCLA is going to make it past Baylor?
You know what? I kind of threw Baylor away. I saw a couple okay games at the end of the year. The one that they played, I feel like the game they played against Kansas was like their peak. That was like their peak performance going into their tournament and stuff. I don't know. I mean, listen, Baylor's a great team, and nobody's talking about them, which I think is fun.
Baylor burned
defending
me
champs
a few times too.
Yeah. And it could be the fact that they burned me a little bit. It was kind of like, when you're making your bracket, you kind of always have to have a little weirdo in there.
Yeah, of course.
And that's where my UCLA
Of course,
came from.
okay.
What's interesting in college basketball gambling is that now that it's obviously, everywhere, is that lull between Super Bowl and the conference championships. Like, that's a dangerous time, It's not college football, like top 10 teams are going down. There's that one Saturday, I think 4 top 10 teams.
I think it was more.
There's like 6.
Yeah.
All top 6. All top 6 teams lost.
Yep.
Yeah,
so you got to be careful. And it's like, I feel like these books cleaned up.
Yeah.
Especially with it just being newly legal.
Well, this is that weird time of year too, where normally you have like those pretty top tier teams like Baylor and Gonzaga are pretty much the top tier teams all of last year and never really wavered that way, and they both made the finals, so it made sense. But no, there's really no team this year that kind of taken that top spot and run away with it. I mean, even that top 10, it kept changing hands
Yeah.
week in and week out. Like you never knew who was going to be number one. My only problem with Baylor is really the injuries. I think that's what kind of gets everybody. And they kind of match up with Kentucky later on, and I think that could be a problem for him. So, I mean, that's really only...
Is that guy with green hair still there?
Yes, yeah, he's still in. But Jonathan Tchoa, whatever how you say his name, he's injured. LJ Cryer, he's injured. Scott Drew's a really good coach, but I just don't know if they can get past the injuries, especially late in the tournament bracket.
I'm sticking with them, though. I'm taking Baylor over UCLA. I think that absolutely happens, but... I think their run ends there, so I'm taking Purdue over Baylor going into the Final Four. This is one of those picks where I know Purdue might not be the smart choice, but I was sitting there looking at my bracket, and I had 3 1s and a 2. And I said, well, no, that's not going to happen because it usually never happens, so I need to switch something up.
Look, so this is my third bracket, AJ. I got Purdue winning it.
That's crazy. That's why it's your third bracket. No, so I have my Final Four, I have Purdue. I have Gonzaga over Duke in the Elite Eight to get. Gonzaga's definitely going to be in the Final Four. I think that's the end of the line for Coach K. I think Duke is too streaky at times. They've wavered towards the end of the season too. Oh, yeah. You're kind of unsure what you're going to get from them, especially some of their younger guys. And it's Gonzaga. It's almost a guarantee that they're going to be in the Final Four for sure.
What was crazy about Duke, not to jump in here, but what was crazy about Duke when I was going over the numbers, they're only 2-0 against top 25 teams.
Yeah.
Which I was shocked.
Well, the ACC is just so down this year. They really have a chance to play anybody, so it's like,
Arizona has the easiest path. Their first challenge isn't until the Elite Eight against Villanova, which is, I was a little iffy with that because I do kind of like Villanova. They're a scrappy team. I like Colin Gillespie, and they hit 85% of their free throws, which is huge in March.
This time of year, yes.
Yep, that could be, I think Villanova could come back to bite Arizona, but I'm taking 9 out of 10 times Arizona's going to make it to the Final Four. And then I'm taking Auburn in the Final Four, too.
Let's go.
Jabari Smith, Pearl. Jabari Smith, number 1 overall pick. One of the best shooters in college basketball. And he's just a great all-around player. He's very exciting.
They got the kid from North Carolina, too. What's his name? Walker Kessler?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Dynamite.
I love that you guys are loving Auburn. I really like them. I just couldn't pull the trigger somehow.
Love Bruce Pearl.
Yeah.
Me too.
Guy's the man.
I like Auburn, too. Like I said, they kind of befuddling towards the end there. And I just don't know, Jabari Smith obviously sick, Walker Kessler obviously sick, but they just they forget they have him sometimes, and those other guards just start shooting too many threes, and you're like, what are you guys doing? And they just get too streaky. They just don't have that. At home, they were sick all year, and on the road, they just get beat by random teams. You're just like, how does this happen? So I can't trust that, and they go into the tournament. I feel like it's just too streaky. Kind of the same thing with Purdue as well. Jaden Ivey is a great player. Zach Edey's a great player too. They have 2 great players, but they just could never seem to put it together. You kept kind of waiting for them to do it all year, and they were just so discombobulated. It just didn't seem like they could really put it together. And then I think in the tournament, you got to have some sort of consistency to actually be able to make a run. I mean, Purdue, they're talented enough to definitely do it. They were number 1 for a while during the season. Same thing with Auburn as well, but I just don't see teams like that struggle to kind of put it together and keep it together for long stretches doing well in the tournament. So that's my only reason I'm against them. I mean, my Final Four is pretty chalky, to be honest. I just it's so up in the air that I feel like those ones is where it kind of the talent just kind of overrides any of the other factors in there. So I have Gonzaga coming out of the West, Kentucky coming out of the East, Arizona and Kansas in the South and Midwest. I actually think that Kansas has the easiest pass to the Final Four. Okay. I mean, I just think the matchups there they get the way I have it. They get Illinois in the second round. Illinois, I just don't think they put it together enough in the Big Ten. I mean, the Big Ten's a really tough conference to play in, but I just don't see the kind of firepower that they can have to actually beat Arizona out of there. Same thing, Villanova is the only team I could see giving them a problem. Sorry about Kansas. Kansas, they get Iowa in the second round. That could be a bit of a troublesome matchup. I don't really love Kansas in the fact that they don't really have a player outside of Ochai Agbaji. They have Braun, who's kind of a nice guard there, but I mean, I just don't think they have enough pieces. But they're just kind of the best team in that Midwest region that I think there's nobody else that can beat them. I haven't been meeting up with USC in the Elite Eight, and I just think they're a better team than Kansas.
Wow.
A lot of people have Miami going over USC.
Yeah, I had USC over Miami. I like Miami. I think they had a really good season, but I just think that USC is a more talented team. And I think the Pac-12 is a bit underrated as a conference, so I think you can kind of see them coming out and actually stealing a win there. Then I have USC over Iowa State, which I could see Iowa State stealing that matchup. I mean, if Auburn can get to Kansas, I think they definitely have a chance to beat them. But I just think Kansas might have that easiest path. Gonzaga has a pretty nice path in the West as well. They just face a couple bigs that I think Drew Timmy's going to have problems kind of matching up against that might kind of take him down. But I still think they end up in the Final Four as well. So
So you get all ones.
Kentucky's my 2.
Oh, Kentucky's
Yeah. I just think
Kentucky's great. Kentucky's
they're
a
just
good team.
they're a really really solid team overall. So
I mean, listen, no matter what you do these first 2 rounds, it usually, for all my life doing this, it usually comes down to 1, 2, or 3 in the Final Four. Like, the better teams are in there, and that's the way it goes. No matter how much you want to put in these other teams and make a run with them, you know?
yeah, and I think you will get a few. Obviously, you always do. Like you get a few pretty big upsets in that early round, but it's usually those 12-5s and those those kind of matchups that really trip people up. I don't really think that the ones.
Yeah, it's like the big teams that make the Sweet 16 for the first time, Colorado State. And, you know, like all these teams get to the Elite Eight for the first time in a while, Colorado State. And then, you know.
There's always going to be that one surprise team that kind of squeaks in there. It's just about finding those matchups that you like. It sucks because I really like that Murray State and San Francisco. They're both like really good kind of mid-major programs.
Yes.
It sucks they mash up together in the first round.
Yes.
They're playing more of a, like a Power 5, Power 6 school. I could definitely see both of them pull off an upset.
Murray State's like 30-2, right? Or like
they're insane.
33
Yeah,
or
they're
something
insane.
like that.
They ran away with their conference. They're just an insane program ever since John Morant was there. But San Francisco's the same way, and they're just another team that I would have liked to see make a deep run. And it sucks that they match up with one another because they could have both been a little surprise upsets there too.
I agree with that one.
All right, so we'll go around the room. Final 4. Mike, hit it first.
So my Final 4, just getting up here: Gonzaga, Kentucky, Arizona, and Kansas.
AJ.
Gonzaga, Purdue, Arizona, Auburn.
Gonzaga, Arizona, Kansas, UCLA.
And I got Gonzaga, Kentucky, Arizona, and Auburn. Here's what it is. Whoever gets the most Final Four teams gets AJ's wand.
Ooh.
Whoa.
And then I'll sell it. Can I sell it?
For like $10, sure, yeah.
I'll have you
This
know.
guy's packaging it up right now.
It comes with a map and everything.
Map to what?
Middle Earth.
It's Hogwarts.
Comes with a fake map.
Comes with a map to Miller's.
Yeah, it's where I'll be all day Friday.
Speaking of that, before we get into our picks, what's your guys' ritual? You got a ritual for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
Oh, man.
I think Thursday, me and AJ, or not Fridays.
Friday,
me and AJ
yeah.
kind of started one last year. Very impromptu too. We just kind of showed up at
The morning of.
not even. It was like hours before.
Yeah.
And like we just literally. He texted me like it was probably like 1 o'clock, and I got out at like 2. So I got out at 2. He's like, "Yo, what are you doing?" I was like, "I'm just hanging out." He was like, "Come to the bar." So we went to the bar. They had sick TV set up, like all the games on, and we just started sitting there drinking and betting on every game, and it was probably the most fun I've ever
Sat
had.
there for like 7 hours. And we're just sitting there in dress shirts and khakis.
Yeah.
For like 6-7 hours.
And it was
A lot of
awesome.
fun.
Hedge
Nice.
fund douches?
Doing that again this
Yeah.
year.
My brother already invited. He's like, I'm going to the bar Thursday and I'm going to the bar Friday.
Where? What bar?
Probably somewhere in West
Dukes?
Islip.
Oh,
Nah, West Islip. I wish it was Dukes. If it was Dukes, I'd be there.
nice.
I used to actually take the day off from my main job and work in the city when I worked at MLB because we would stream these games.
You worked at MLB?
Yeah,
I don't know. That's what you do.
I was cutting games, cutting highlights.
Yeah, dude.
Everybody did that
awesome.
for a while.
I know. It was great.
My most memorable weekend was Smitty, who's been on this podcast, for his bachelor party. It was my first time in Vegas. Pretty sure I was like 21 years old, but also had no money at the time and was the height of a degenerate gambler. We stayed at a pretty nice hotel. It's called Circus. While everyone else who was like, Smitty, he does a good job. He's like, whatever he does. I don't know. I don't know if we could say it on here also.
You're not allowed.
Yeah, he does well. He's got married real early, too. Like 23, 24 years old. So
Yep.
we were like 19, 20, whatever it was. Went to Vegas, and but it was like old school Vegas. Like sports books were markers on a fucking on a
great.
chalkboard or whatever it was.
Yeah.
That was the best, and that was a great weekend. That was probably my favorite weekend. But
This-
now I just probably going to be sitting in this same exact spot,
You are definitely
looking at that TV,
That's not a bad
and
sign.
ignoring all the emails
Just
from my
live stream
clients
it.
that are just running through that.
Make a Twitch
Yeah.
account.
Yeah,
I will say last year was my best stretch gambling of all time. That whole
Nice.
weekend. 23-13.
all right. Championship game, Mike. We're coming to you first. Who you got?
All right, so I'm taking Gonzaga to lose to Kentucky in the Final Four. Kentucky and Arizona in my championship. Arizona over Kansas, and Kentucky to beat Arizona in the championship game and win the Final Four.
Kentucky. I like it.
Kentucky's my champion. I just think too people are in Arizona. I think they have a good path to the Final Four, but young, inexperienced team. Kansas just too good and too talented to take over that Final Four and win.
Kentucky's got that one guy. I can't even pronounce his name. Oscar Tshiebwe, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
That guy is the man.
The man. He's sick. They have a lot of really good players, and I think Calipari finally gets it done in March Madness.
That guy's a difference maker because even if they're missing on offense, he's gobbling up every single rebound.
And
offense,
this
defense.
Is, usually I feel like, because Duke feels this way to me the past couple of years especially, where like they're kind of missing like that one piece that really takes them over the edge. Like I think Duke for the past few years has been the team that just like they have some good players but never really like actually played together. Like they always play like one basketball. It's like you're going to LA Fitness and playing against these teams, except they're just extremely talented so they can go very far. Kentucky's always kind of felt the same way to me, but this year it feels different where they're kind of actually like putting things together and like they're playing as a team. And so I think their talent combined with that can bring them to the Final Four and actually win them a championship.
It's a good pick.
AJ?
We have Gonzaga. Yeah, no, definitely not a dress bet. In March Madness, this is the worst time.
Pinky
Are
bet.
you kidding me? Yeah. That's what I'm going to switch to that next football season. We're doing a pinky bet. Call me halfway through the season. I'll figure it out.
I can't wait to chop off that finger. Who will chop it off? Who's going to... McNeely would
I feel like Tripp gets it, yeah.
He would chop it.
I have Gonzaga over Purdue. Purdue's runs over. That's easy. And then I have Arizona over Auburn. So it's going to be in Arizona, Gonzaga championship game. You have Mark Few versus Lloyd. It's like a teacher-student right there. And I think Gonzaga loses their third title game in the last 5 years. Arizona's roster is absolutely loaded. I was just saying to them. They have 3 guys on their all-conference first team, 2 guys all-defensive first team. They have Pele Larson. He's their conference's 6th man of the year. You have Benedict Mathurin, who I think is one of those players who's going to shine in the tournament, and he's going to transform into a bona fide stud. He's going to be a lottery pick. He's going to be ready for the NBA and showcase his skills. They lead the nation in assists. They're 3rd in field goal percentage. They're top team in rebounds and blocks because they have Christian Colico. The big guy.
The names kill me.
The names are very hard.
They do. I think they're the most complete team in college basketball right now. And they have so many different foul safes that if one thing falls through, the other thing will be there to pick them up defensively or offensively.
Yeah, I think Tommy Lloyd is definitely the kind of the start of that Mark Few coaching tree that's going to kind of begin to blossom.
This is year 1 too.
Yeah, year crazy. 1 and a lot of people haven't gone to the championship, which is the only thing that really scares me. When you have a lot of guys on one team, it's like they get tripped up early. And I think I think experience. There is something to be said for experience in March Madness, which is why I have Kentucky going deep because it's like for the first time in forever they actually have like a little bit of an older roster, a lot of juniors, not as many freshmen, which is pretty not really typical of a John Calipari team. So that's why I think they have them over Arizona, but they definitely have the firepower to make it to the championship.
The first weekend is so fucking important.
Yep.
It's huge.
To get on your roll.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's so important.
It makes and breaks kids. It'll give some kids and big egos. It'll kill other kids' egos. That'll carry through the rest of the tournament.
And not that I think they'll actually like lose the first matchup because it's 1 versus 16, but if Bryant wins that playing game against Wright State, which actually they're not favored in, which is surprising to me. But if Bryant was to actually win that game, Bryant has a very high-powered offense, which could actually chip Arizona up a little bit and actually give them a little bit of a run for their money. So I'll be interested to see what the line is there if Bryant wins this game. And maybe Bryant might cover a little bit. I don't know.
Look at you killing everybody's fucking championship pick.
I'm just saying.
For our sake, we can't win.
I got to play some.
Brian can't
Trip
win.
is watering
If
out the
they
mouth right
win,
now.
this guy may never come home. From
I'm the new guy. I know these things.
He went to
guy-
Bryant, that's why.
This guy may be a new resident of Ireland.
Peter
Back
Kiss,
in
great
Atlanta,
guy.
country.
Total asshole of a player, but a great player. So I don't know.
I will say I have a couple bucks on Bryant tomorrow. Anyway.
Already?
I do, yes.
What's the line on that there?
It's 3, I think.
They're plus 3.5, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Right State kind of got a home game too in Dayton, so I don't know what that kind of gives them. But
All right, Kurt Money.
So Gonzaga needed overtime to beat UCLA last year. I don't know if there'll be an overtime, but I think UCLA is going to take it this year, and I think UCLA is going to the championship.
Wow.
Out of number 4, Arizona will beat Kansas. I think Arizona, like a bunch of us have said, besides unless Bryant gets in at the 16th seed, Arizona's the most complete team. You said it's a first-year coach for Arizona?
yeah, it's
I noticed that a lot.
Came from Gonzaga.
With a bunch of teams this year, which kind of threw me off a bit. But I got to go Arizona. Arizona over UCLA. I mean, now that I'm like talking out loud about this, if I'm going this far with UCLA, I feel like I should just roll with it.
I'm checking the odds as we
man.
speak. We speak. you must have seen something in your dreams. I might have to put some money on UCLA making
Listen,
a
I think
championship
Baron
game,
Davis
man.
still plays for UCLA.
No, the fact of the matter is that UCLA, all the boys have been there already.
Yeah.
That is important.
And they've just been hanging out, and now they're ready. They're going to be ready. Again, it's about week 1 and 2. You know, the first weekend.
It's interesting that you say that, and Mike just said it also, too. Like, I don't look for that. I look for the mixture of youth and guys that have been there before.
This year,
know?
I kind of went with a little bit of experience, and then I really went with field goal percentage, 3-point percentage. And I kind of went down the line. If you're a better shooter, you should be the better team. And it didn't always work out with the rankings.
Got to hit those free throws.
You got to hit the free throws too. So I got Arizona over UCLA. Kind of contemplating just rolling with UCLA. I'll talk about that next episode. But my pick right now is Arizona as the champion.
The next episode is the Masters episode.
I mean, I could still talk about the NCAA tournament when I should have went with UCLA.
UCLA's
It's
plus
interesting. You got
600.
2 Pac-12 teams playing in the Final Four. They played 3 times already this season. UCLA has won twice. Arizona won once. Arizona's won twice.
Yes.
So it's kind of an interesting matchup there if that actually would have happened.
All right, my championship game, I got Arizona, and then I've got Kentucky. For Arizona, it's the first time back since playing Duke in 2001. They lost that game. Last time they won was 1997. Where were you in 1997?
Me, I was smoking weed and smoking cigarettes and drinking beers at high school.
Not born yet?
I was in my father's balls.
Oh my God!
That was, or it could have been on my mother's stomach at that time.
It makes me want to kill myself.
I mean, this is my dream matchup. Arizona, Kentucky. I like Arizona to win it. Like I said, they're flying under the radar. Pac-12. You know, everybody's questioning have they played enough good teams, but you know, you got UCLA in there. I think you know that's a good matchup. But it's just an elite team. They're balanced. You know, they got both sides of the court figured out. They've got, again, the names Christian Coloco and Omar. They got check the box on defense. They can defend the basket.
They have a forward. They have a center. They have a shooting guard.
And you know, so they're great on defense, and just the offense is absolutely amazing. The guard play, fantastic. So I like Arizona to cut down the nets. First time since 1997, they take out Kentucky for the national championship.
I love Kentucky. I'm telling you, when they were playing Vanderbilt the other night, they were down, and then they could score 10 in a second.
They scare me.
They are scary. They are a scary team.
And it is like, usually in those kind of situations, that's where they just crumble and fall apart. And it's like, but this year, for some reason, they just seem like they're just playing together and they're actually like playing as a team, which is just, usually they play in that kind of one-on-one basketball, which is, you know, I think it's a good thing. You obviously see them play together. And they can actually.
And I noticed it's what Purdue can't do.
Exactly.
It's like when they're
and that's
down.
Why, it's exactly why I'm scared of Auburn, too, because Auburn's kind of the same way, where they kind of get, you know, they obviously have really good Walker Kessler, and they have great guards in Jabari Smith, but I mean, they just don't seem to like put it together enough where it's like they can really push and make that run deep into March Madness. But you never really know with these kinds of things. You can see all these teams making a run.
You're absolutely right.
All right, that's it. That's a wrap. You got anything else to say?
A lot of fucking
First down
teams in
dogs?
this bracket. No, I can't say first down dogs. I feel so sad.
It's different.
When's football coming?
Bracket boys. That's what I was going with.
Bracket boys.
Did anybody else pick that already?
With
Like a
Z's,
Boiz
I'm
with a Z,
sure.
yeah.
Somebody's
B-O-I.
definitely taking it.
I'm sure a million.
You could spell boys so many different ways.
B-O-I-Z.
Nobody would know.
Could you put an I in boys?
Yeah.
Boys.
Yeah, boy.
Boys.
It's boy.
What about B-O-I-S? It's like a little bit of like a French twist on it.
Just maybe
Boys.
throw the E in there, too.
Boy.
Mike, fantastic analysis. Thanks for coming out. We really need you. This would have
Yeah,
been a disaster
absolutely.
if it
Appreciate
wasn't
it.
for you.
No, I
Absolutely.
appreciate it. Appreciate you guys having me.
AJ, I'm glad to see you wearing all your clothes. It's fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Kurt, I see you way too much as it is.
Yes.
Thanks for Cheetos for the beers or whatever they are. Tequila, seltzers. Definitely not going to be a sponsor after this one.
Indochino.
Thanks for my wife for calling me 500 times during this podcast about her car
Is she
shaking
okay?
on the side of the road.
Is she okay?
I mean, I think she got an Uber home.
Did the car start?
We'll find. We'll find out. I'm probably sleeping on this couch.
It's the fucking
tonight.
buggy, right?
Thanks to the Canadian cable service that I use for freezing 900 times during this podcast.
It's back, though. It's a
But
good
also,
game,
we
too.
didn't really miss much, though, because I feel like it froze at like 23:20, and that was hours
Listen,
ago.
Basketball does not matter until the last 2 minutes of the game. That is it.
Everybody enjoy the tournament. Meet everybody at Miller's on Friday.
When are
Yep.
we talking baseball?
Absolutely.
Yes, when are we talking
Seriously,
baseball?
when are we talking baseball?
Soon.
Let's do it.
All right.
We're done with this one. We're done with March Madness.
We're done with March Madness.
We got baseball. We got the Masters, which Smitty can't stop talking about. I also had two golfers in the Players this weekend that finished in dead last. Both.
I think they got cut. To be quite honest.
No,
with
they
you.
made it. But in my defense, Players was an absolute shit show.
Brutal.
was.
The 3
weather.
days to play the first
Oh my
round
God.
was killer.
Right. As
Killer.
soon as I saw that, I was like, I'm out on this
I
one.
mean,
Anybody who took
couldn't-
my bets on that weekend that I put out there, like, I'm absolved from that
yeah. Oh, absolutely.
disaster.
I love you, Pittsburgh.